gorgeous sunrise, but we're going to hit the road in search of wintry weather on Cape Cod. Follow these signs. Cape Cod Cranberries. North side of Dennis for sunrise. Annie's Crannies is the destination. Right across from the Dennis Inn, where it does not look like that's a frost in the grass. Annie's Crannies. Does not look too frosty. I think maybe the clouds saved the day. Frost averted.
What?
Frost averted. You think? Where's the frost?
I just went out. It's 26 and 24.
Wow.
So the tolerance on the bog right now is 23 degrees. And it just dropped. It just dropped. It was 29 degrees 15 minutes ago. And it just went plummeting.
That happens right at sunrise.
I couldn't believe it. I have my alarm is upstairs. And the alarm went off. I was like, are you kidding me? The sun is coming up.
Yeah, right as the sun's coming up. There's something about it. It's a diurnal chill.
What we did pick, Tim, you can see the fog. Because there's the heat of the berries. They're so red. They hold the heat, the darkness from the sun from yesterday.
Oh, interesting.
And so that's going to be a little warmer. But see the Ben's Bog and Molly's, how the fog is moved right in?
Yeah.
That's because it's that much colder.
Because the berries are gone.
Because the berries are gone.
Fascinating.
So, when I looked out the window upstairs, I was like, oh, this isn't good. This fog on the bog.
Fog on the bog.
Fog on the bog is not good unless it's in a cocktail. So.
Past 7:30. First light. Rays of sunshine, anyway. Here on the bog, on the north side of Dennis. Pretty much where cranberry farming began, here on Cape Cod. Beautiful morning. We have some high, beautiful clouds. Look at that, the wispies up there. Tremendous, cirrocumulus almost. So we're down where she keeps the beehives. First place to see the sun on the bog, and that stimulates the bees. And she says the bees are doing great and the berries are doing great. Annie's Crannies. Right here on North Dennis. High pressure last night, and here on the bog, as Annie just said, was 26 degrees. Summit of Mount Washington was 36 degrees, and at 4,000 feet it was 40 degrees. It's called high barometer cold. High pressure, sinking air at night with calm weather. Anywhere it was calm last night, it was a frost and a freeze, and fortunately, by the beach, I don't think there was a frost or a freeze, so I think that my tomatoes are still going pretty well. Good morning to you too, Mr. Crow. Just gorgeous weekend for Cape Cod. This is a totally Halloween seasonal themed out the door today. There's not a lot of weather to talk about here in the Northeast, fortunately. Just gorgeous weather, not quite as chilly or as breezy today as it was yesterday. We were out there working. It was almost freezing, although the people working here on the bog were working so hard. They only were wearing t-shirts yesterday. We had on sweatshirts and gloves. So it's called diurnal changes in the weather. Diurnal meaning at night it gets very chilly, but by day it warms up. Today mid-50s to near 60. Tomorrow probably the same thing after a frosty start. We'll be challenging a frost here in the bog again. That fog is forming right before my very eyes right here on the bog. Just fascinating. Weather changes minute by minute. Anyhow, it cools off dramatically right as the sun comes up. And then it warms up quickly. So the bees are going to start stirring here in a few minutes. And temperatures today in the 50s, tomorrow in the 60s. There is some severe weather happening in the southeastern United States with a chance of tornadoes actually near Louisiana and Mississippi. That is that old Colorado snowstorm where it's ski season this weekend, and it's just running out of fuel as it comes at us. So it's running out of its chill, which is its fuel. It's not a tropical system. It's called baroclinic, not barotropic. And for that reason, just a few showers now in the forecast for Monday. So Halloween trick-or-treaters, it looks pretty good. At The guidance has all pretty much eliminated rainfall for Monday and Tuesday, although they'll probably end up with some showers. You know, it's a Monday, Tuesday thing. And as for surf, watching off to the south for perhaps some tropical energy, it looks like the best chance for tropical energy is actually way down in the Caribbean, and that's going to go into Central America, kind of like Julia. Maybe that'll infuse some energy to a front crossing the nation next week. But overall, it's an incredibly quiet pattern now for New England, especially considering, you know, a year ago this week we had that super nor'easter, and 10 years ago was Sandy. So we're getting off easy here in the Northeast for now. And it looks like the trough tries to dig again a little bit in the west next week, and perhaps some more snow for the tallest mountains out west. And for here in the Northeast, if we can avoid coastal flow, which is it's a 50-50 proposition, we may end up being near 70 degrees by next Thursday, Friday into next weekend. It gets a little bit scary if you're trying to plan opening of a ski season here, but things are bound to change eventually. Look at the fog forming right down there in the bog. All right, much more on what we did yesterday, the season, how to, you know, let's see, shear your ornamental grasses. I love the ornamental grasses. And spooky scenes, including a haunted house I stumbled upon, and just a real fun day looking around, meeting everybody yesterday. And the ultimate compliment, Dean Emery says that I was his favorite weatherman. When a Cape Cod cranberry farmer says you're the favorite weatherman, one of life goals totally fulfilled. Thanks, Dean and Annie, for everything. Kind of more of a hand tool guy, but you know, now that I'm in the professional world, I have to use the power tools. The question is how low. Take it from the inside toward the outside.
So it falls where you just doing it, and ends up all put up, you know?
Come on, it's a family movie.
You can pick this up easy, you know? You know what I'm saying?
Can we make a scarecrow?
Now we can tie these up and sell them for the...
I bet. Let's do it. Don't tell the boss I'm going for a little walk in the woods and the ivy, and looks like a big cedar. Just going for a walk in the woods. Oh, hello. Is anybody home? Hi, it's Tim. We're in the market for a haunted house. Yep, I think you're just what we were hoping for. That tarp needs to be stretched out again a little bit. I don't think the heavy stuff's gonna come in for a while. Oh! Kidding. Oh! Don't be scared. This has got to be some kind of award-winning display here. I'm sure that thing moves. It does. This is amazing. Just doing some mowing. Oops, sorry. At least he's wearing shoes, right? Oh my goodness. This is so good. There's Dean.
Hello there.
Hello, Dean. Wow. What did you just say?
I said there wasn't any other weatherman as good as you, and we waited all day long just for you to come on.
Oh, you can bring a tear to my eye, man. Well, now I'm mowing lawns with Peter. And I have time to come and see you and look at your cranberries.
Well, that's great. You know, they're really beautiful.
So last time I saw you, it was really dry and you were kind of concerned about the heat and everything. So
Yes.
it worked out?
As a matter of fact, it did work out. You know, we were able to give him water because we have wells and things. So that worked out pretty good.
But this is
High step.
so See how this vine is already curved? That's
Yeah.
because we pick it in that direction every year, right? So when you pick it in the same direction and the machine and you walk on it, you're actually walking on the leaves, and that's next year's crop. That little tiny red snot in there is next year's crop. So if you walk in the correct direction, the leaves cover it and protect it.
So we've got to walk clockwise.
Clockwise.
That's anti-cyclonic in weather jargon.
Well, clockwise.
Anti-cyclonic. This way is... Now I'm walking in the right direction. However, coming out, I think I stepped on a bunch of flowers, and next year they may not bloom. So you're allowed to walk this way. So you can tell where it's been harvested and where it has not been harvested. Harvested, not harvested. Beautiful. Looks like a good day for it too.
What would Tim say? I don't know, but it's going to be a frost tonight. The winds are going to die. They're going to be about 4 or 5 miles an hour. Yes, and because we're tucked up to this bluff, 4 or 5 miles an hour with those houses over there, this will get no wind. So we're a good 20 degrees difference than whatever the weather guys say.
What you got in your hand there?
Oops.
A sacrifice.
A sacrifice. We have a new person running a machine, and he sort of went the wrong direction into the vine. And
You gonna save that?
Do you want to plant a vine? You want to plant a bog, Tim?
Remember
Yes.
I told you you
Take
gotta
it.
go with the green.
It's a present. You got to go with the grain, or this is what happens.
Thank you.
Just put some sand on it. It'll be lovely.
Thank you.
Even though there's clouds over us right now that's holding the heat in, when the clouds dissipate, the cool comes in. And the topography of a bog is the lowest point. So cold sinks to the bottom. So we can be 20 degrees.
Miss Lucy weighs 250 pounds. 450. Wow. How long did it take you to fill that bag? It's right there. One pass. Not even a pass.
Not even. 20 feet.
Tim, wanted to tell you, you got a cool flagpole.
Oh, thanks. I see you got a bunch of birches over there. That's what I use, a birch tree.
Oh yeah, no.
Thanks.
I gotta tell you, you got quite a view there looking out and watching that flag go.
It's so fun. That's where Don Kent lived.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you keep in tradition.
Dates back to 2016, North Dennis, Nobscosset, birthplace of the cultivated cranberry, celebrating 200 years. Captain Henry Hall, after a storm blew native sands over his cranberry bogs, his crop increased. It was purely by accident that he discovered cranberries could be cultivated. This event inspired other sea captains to try their hand in the cultivation of cranberries, and the invention of the cranberry farming machinery. Ben Walker, 1916, Ben Annie's grandfather, is documented as the fastest picker in his day using a hand rocker scoop. In 1912, in 6-hour day on the old Luther Hall bog in Nobscosset, Ben harvested 19 barrels of berries. That was 238 measures. At 6 cents a measure, he netted $14.28, which was more than many men earned in a week and well worth a tired back. Annie Walker, 2016, purchased, restored, maintained, and is working to protect a piece of cranberry and Dennis history. I wonder if Captain Henry Hall could ever imagine that his accidental discovery in 1816 in North Dennis would become a worldwide winter holiday tradition with a little red berry. Oh, such an honor to be here. There it is in the 1800s. Thanks, Pete, for this nice lunch break. Look at this. We're outside of Annie's Berries here, which come on down this weekend. It's going to be open. What year is this built?
This is 1905.
1905.
Except for that blower. Dean made that blower from scratch.
Oh my goodness.
This is what they look like before he's restored them.
Oh my goodness.
And there
He's
they
an
are.
artist.
And there they are. 1, 2,
Whoops.
3. I'm using them as a display.
So is this functional, this one?
Oh, we'll be using this at probably between 11:30, quarter to 12.
So what, you separate the vine from the berry?
Yeah, this separator, you put some in here, and it blows the leaves and sticks out the back. And then the berries go up the conveyor belt into the hopper. This is a called the separator. Each one of these is actually like a baseball bat with a groove in it, and the groove flings the berries at a board. A good dry berry will bounce. So if it hits the board and doesn't bounce, it drops into a rot box in the bottom. It gets a couple of chances to do that. Then it comes across the front, which has a metal screen, and that determines the size of berries that's going to go to market. So if it's smaller than that, it goes into a box in the bottom.
Wow.
And those are called pie berries, because the ladies didn't have to chop them up to make a pie.
Oh, neat.
And then it's very I Love Lucy, and it comes across the conveyor, and we sit there and we pull out the white ones or the bruised ones the machine missed, and there's a trough in the middle of that table, and we dump them in the trough. Now, to give you an idea between wet and dry harvest, all those troughs we just talked about, that becomes juice berries. Those qualify. What we throw away from dry picking becomes juice berries.
So that's the value of dry picking, and you said it's going to be obsolete, maybe, except for you?
No, there's going to be several people still doing this, but on a much smaller scale. So the stuff you're buying in the grocery stores, even this Thanksgiving, for the most part, have been wet harvested and then put under blow dryers and heat lamps, and then put in a plastic bag.
So they're processed.
It's not a, and that's okay. I understand the big guy wants to save more money because it's all automated and cheaper to do that, process it that way. But they should at least label the bags, wet, dry, harvest.
Yeah.
And instead they're labeling them fresh.
Only thing that's fresh is a dry harvested cranberry.
That's right. I mean, they come straight from we just picked these berries.
And I just watched your bees wake up this morning too. So you got plenty of honey. And the bees are kind of funny. I don't know what they're doing, but they're bringing their dead brothers and sisters out and dropping them this morning.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're cleaning out the hive for the winter. They're getting rid of any trash, especially men. Sorry about that, Tim. But the guys, they get rid of the drones because they'll just eat up their food sources over the winter. They don't need them. And they'll put the queen in the middle of the hive, and they'll close around her, and they'll keep her warm all winter. And the outer ones will die off from the cold. So by the time you open the hive in March, it's like this. Right now, they're probably like this. But they'll be like this in March. And then she'll lay that many egg larvae in March, however many they can sustain, the size that's in there. When they hatch out, now it's this, and she can lay more, and she can lay more, and that's how they build up the hive again.
Wow. So they go dormant around the queen over the winter?
They sort of, yeah, they still have to do cleansing flights and stuff when they can, but yeah, for the most part, they just
Cleansing flights.
try to snuggle right into her and keep her warm and alive.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But they